Morning. I'd like to call the Board of Commissioners meeting to order. Our first order of business is election of officers for 2020. I'd entertain a motion for chair.
Mr. Chair, I would move John Lipke as chair.
Okay. I'll second that motion. Any others? Hearing none, call the question.
Morrow?
Yes.
Kemp?
Yes.
Journal?
Yes.
Kohler?
Abstain.
You have
You still call, John.
Lipke?
Yes.
Okay, vice chair.
I nominate Terry Morrow. Second.
We have a motion, we have a second. Any others? Call the question.
Kohler?
Yes.
Lipke?
Yes.
Journal?
Yes.
Kemp?
Yes.
Morrow?
Yes.
We have our slate of officers. I turn the gavel to Commissioner Lipke, who is now our chair. Congratulations. Thank you.
I guess we will now do the flag pledge, led by retiring Chair Denny Kemp. Thank you for his good work.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If someone has their cell phones on, please silence them. Could we have a motion for an approval of the agenda?
Move the agenda.
Second.
Any-
Sorry.
Yeah.
Mr. Chair, we need to remove item number 9 from the consent agenda. There's some additional language that has to go into that agreement.
Okay.
And then I believe that was the only,
Change to number 7, board meeting and workshop
Oh, okay.
schedule.
Right.
We added the June 15th date.
for the
For
board
the
of,
Board of Appeals and Equalization.
Do we need a motion on the changes? Yes.
My motion stands as amended.
sure.
Was that secretary?
Yes, sir.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, unanimously. Okay, then we can vote on the consent agenda.
Move the consent agenda as amended.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Public appearances. Any public appearances? Michelle, would you like to have this time?
Certainly. Mr. Chair, at this time I would like to introduce Grace Vora. She is an intern, sophomore student from Gustavus, who will be interning with my office for the month of January. So she's going to be following us around and got a full slate of a variety of things starting at 8 a.m. to 4:30 yesterday. We were had a full day. So thank you for giving her the opportunity also to come and participate with the board in the activities in the month of January.
Welcome.
Welcome.
So Grace, just tell us a little bit, major, where you're from, that type of thing.
I'm from Tampa, Minnesota, which is kind of like Maple Grove region, Northwest Metro, and I'm a major in political science, English, and Spanish.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Welcome.
No, thank you. Nice to meet you all.
Feel something, Danny?
Nope, I'm not waiting for you.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, well, welcome. And we will move on. Public services. Resolution for apply for funding for voter equipment grant. Is that Jackie? You okay?
Morning, Mr. Chair, members of the board. Today I have before you a resolution to approve Nicollet County to apply for the additional equipment funding from the state of Minnesota for the election equipment. A little background on this is that if you remember in 2017, the state authorized a $7 million grant, which helped us buy the DS200s, our new optical scan systems that we all are using now. In addition, now in 2019, the legislation did approve an additional $2 million for additional funding. This is a match grant, and it'll pay up to 50% of the optical scans or 75% of the electronic rosters. This is significantly a lower amount, and it's based on how many precincts, how many counties actually apply for it. There are about 2,700 precincts. So if you do the math, even though it says the maximum is 5,000 per precinct, it could realistically be more like 700 per precinct. So it's a significantly lower grant. The need that we are in need of at Nicollet County and all counties is our auto marks, which is our marking device for disabilities, are in need of being replaced. At this time, the state has only and just previously approved the Omni ballot is a new system, and the state has to approve it. Now, they just did approve that this fall, so this has been a very late incoming kind of grant. So there is only one system to replace our auto mark. And the cost of those are roughly $6,000, so the 700 may not go far. So, but if not, some counties just won't be applying for it. So we'll see what we get. So this has not been budgeted, but we do usually, what we did in the past is we asked the cities and townships that do have polling places to pay their share of it, of the half that's remaining or whatever is remaining. So going forward, what we're going to do is there's always a tight schedule here. We need to apply for the grant before January 31st. By March, we'll get our award letter, and then we have until December 31st to spend the grant. But a lot of counties are in the same boat that we are in, and cities that maybe didn't quite budget for it. In my opinion, they extended the grant, the $7 million grant. In my opinion, they may extend the deadline to spend this as well, but I can't say that for sure. So in essence, what I'm asking for is the board to approve applying for the grant and a motion in the resolution, and we'll see what we get. We'll talk to our cities and townships and what our needs are, and based on that, and then go forward with the funding of it.
Mr. Chair, I'll move approval.
Second.
Any discussion?
Mr. Chair, so this equipment won't be in time for the 2020 elections?
Not for the presidential primary. It could for the August, primary, not the presidential, but it could for the for the August regular primary.
And yet our townships and our small cities don't know this is coming, and they might have to pay for it, and therefore probably haven't budgeted for it either.
Correct. So really, to be honest, my intent is to we can get through another election with what we have. So we have until, the end of the year, and if we move forward, and there may be other options available if any other devices are approved by the state as well. So this isn't guaranteeing that we're going to purchase this or not. We're just going to apply for the grant, see what we get, see what our costs are, and then go from there.
Yes, Jack.
Mr. Chair, so in my 20-plus years here, the one thing that I've recognized is the safety and validity of our voting system in Nicollet County.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have anything that would persuade you otherwise?
With our current systems?
Right.
Our current, we've updated our optical scans, which are wonderful, and we are all enjoying those. I think they're a great system. This system that we would be buying is a marking device, so it's not even a counting device. It marks the ballot for them to assist them for anybody that can't mark their own ballot. But I think in a nutshell, Minnesota is second to none in our security in the way that we actually do our balloting, and we still do paper ballots, and that's important that we still do that because that's our audit trail right there.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Does someone have a?
You got a motion and a second.
All in favor?
I think this is a resolution you have to call it.
Okay. So call the ballot or call the question.
Kohler,
Yes.
Kemp,
Yes.
Morrow,
Yes.
Reynolds,
Yes.
Vicki.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jackie.
Thank
Well, property services? I'm sorry, public services.
Property Services. Good morning, Mr. Chair, members of the board.
Good morning.
I have one item before you regarding the December 16th, 2019 Planning and Zoning Advisory Commission meeting. This is for a after-the-fact conditional use permit for land alteration, which is the cutting and filling exceeding 50 cubic yards. In this case, two properties owned by Nicollet Properties LLC did move approximately 19,241 cubic yards to construct a personal rifle range with it that is located in Cortland Township. The range itself is approximately 80 by 3,000 feet long. At that meeting, we did have people attend, but there was no comments received, nor did we receive any comments prior to the meeting. After consideration by the commission, they did vote unanimous with for the request. Today I'm asking for approval of the conditional use permit and the findings of fact document.
Any motion on this?
Mr. Chair, I'll move the conditional use permit for Nicollet's Properties.
I'll second.
I have a question. The safety concern was addressed, basically, right?
Yes, since it's at the personal shooting range, there isn't a lot that the county has authority over. We encourage them to construct them to the NRA regulations, but at this time it is a personal shooting range.
Because there is a little controversy on the one in Sibley County.
Correct.
I know, or not a little, but.
Right.
Any other discussion?
I just have a question. If this property were ever to become within the confines of our current regulation commercialized, would that change the status of this?
Yes, it would.
And it would require modification based on it being commercialized. Is that correct, or we don't know that?
There is an existing conditional use permit for the properties that was previously operated under a different shooting range. At this time, that has closed, and they are in discussions with a different project.
Okay, but that hasn't.
But that hasn't
So nothing
moved
is carried
forward.
forward. Okay, thank you.
Mr. Chair, if I
Yes.
could, had there been, what was the issue? Have they moved dirt without permission? Is that what
Yes.
prompted everything? And that, has that been corrected? Is that what I'm?
Yes, they've gone through the permitting process. We haven't issued the zoning permit for the actual activity of the land movement. They do have to do a couple of more items. Basically, it's putting in some type of erosion control practice in. We did allow them to reestablish as much as they could last fall, just to prevent any erosion. And with the spring melt weather too, we want to make sure that the soil was intact with it. So they've done a lot of the work already. It's just a couple of small items they have to address this coming spring.
Yes.
If I might follow up on Commissioner Kollar's, did they not know they needed a permit, or do we not know what happened?
They were working with an individual that just kind of started moving forward, and it was just kind of, I think, a lapse in communication, and the project moved forward. The landowners weren't aware of it, and here we are today. So they've addressed everything as soon as we contacted them.
And how many yards did you say? 19,000?
19,241.
Boy, that's not like 100 or something either, is it?
It's a significant
It's
amount.
a lot of dirt.
Any other discussion? Questions? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we have Seth, Public Works.
Good morning, Mr. Chair, members of the board and staff. Several items from Public Works today. The first is to consider a snow and ice removal agreement with the City of New Ulm. Typically, I come before the board probably in October to request approval of this agreement. This agreement provides for the City of New Ulm to provide snow and ice removal on our County Road 37 for the months of December and then January, February, and March. Last year, we did not execute this agreement, and this year we weren't quite sure when to execute this agreement because the DOT had been using County Road 37 as a detour for the Trunk Highway 14 and 15 project. And as part of that detour agreement, the DOT was responsible for snow and ice removal operations. Once we knew the date that the detour was coming off, then we knew how to structure this agreement. And so the agreement's been modified to provide snow and ice removal for half of December of 2019 and then the months in 2020 of January, February, and March. Value of this contract would be $1,820. So I'm asking the board today to approve the attached snow removal agreement with the city of New Ulm.
Mr. Chair, I'll move the agreement.
Second.
Second. Any discussion? Actually, it sounds like a pretty good deal for us, doesn't it?
Yeah, it works out real well. County Road 37 is not real contiguous with another one of our county routes, and of course our County Road 37 butts right into us, New Ulm City Street. So yeah, it's a good deal for us.
Okay.
Works out well.
Any discussion? More discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Passes unanimously. You say aye, Marie? Passes unanimously. Now you have some information about County Road 21.
Yeah, my second item is to consider County Road 21 geotechnical engineering services proposal. We have been experiencing erosion and sloughing issues on County Road 21 on the inslope just to the east of County Road 14. Of course, this part of County Road 20 road inslope abuts the Minnesota River. This erosion's been going on for quite a long time, even before I became the county engineer, and I've started my 12th year. In the past, we've experienced small slides and erosion, which we've taken care of and stopped by placing riprap out there. But now the problem seems to be progressing further, and more likely it's because of the continued high levels of the Minnesota River over these last several years. In your board packet, there's, I believe, 3 pictures kind of showing the erosion and sliding of the County Road 21 inslope. We have some fairly large areas that have moved here probably this spring into the fall, and they're starting to encroach closer to the County Road 21 actual driving surface. This issue has gotten to be a pretty good size. Potentially putting rock in could potentially fix this issue, but it's of a big enough concern to me that I think we need to hire some additional help on the geotechnical side to do a full analysis to see what the most proper fix for this area would be, what's going to get us the most long-term fix. And so I've reached out to Gale Tech Engineering, and that firm name should be familiar to the board, as Gale Tech and SRF Consulting have been the 2 firms also working on our County Road 14 slide issue. One of the engineers with Gale Tech has made a site visit, looked the problem over, and has put together a proposal for our consideration for geotechnical and hydrological services to review the erosion and sloughing issues that are being experienced on County Road 21. Late this fall, right before our first big snow at the end of November, my staff was able to get out and perform survey work on the inslopes of County Road 21. We also employed the sheriff's help with their boat to get out into the river to get shots in the channel. But unfortunately, what we found is closer to the bank, the guys would put the rod into the river and it would show 5 feet of depth. They'd go to the other side of the boat, and with a 25-foot long surveying rod, they couldn't touch the bottom. And so that is of great concern to myself to have a channel that deep, and that channel depth is right next to the inslope of County Road 21. We need to get out and do additional survey into the Minnesota River channel just to see how deep it is. Unfortunately, that day that they were out there, the depth finder on the sheriff's boat was not working, and with depths like that and the current that we're experiencing, our normal survey rods and stuff, you just can't hold them down in that channel. And so we're hoping this spring or early summer, and we're going to need the river level to drop a little bit, that we can get out and get some more accurate readings of that depth. And that's important too, because it will ultimately determine exactly what the extent and cost of these additional engineering services are. the proposal that they sent back had a cost of $33,964, and that's for the full suite of potential services that we would need. That dollar amount could come down if it's determined that that channel is too deep and that we aren't going to do further work out into the river channel. So there wouldn't be as much hydraulic analysis needed. So I'm more than happy to answer any questions on this
Seth has a
issue.
question right away. If we get some cold weather, couldn't we drill some holes and drop a?
Well, right where we
Wade
need to
in?
do the survey work is where we have the highest current, and with that fast current,
Won't be
we're not
safe
getting
ice.
much safe
Okay.
ice
Safety
in that
comes first.
location. Yeah.
Mr. Chair,
Questions?
I move approval of the proposal.
I second.
Any other discussion?
I just have a question, from a logistics standpoint, this is to help us develop a plan. Implementation of repairs is a secondary project, and potentially, do we see other, since it's a waterway, do we see any assistance from any other financial source other than the county?
Not on this one.
Okay. Well, until we let the road wash in, then we have a different issue, right?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
we're trying not to.
We're trying to
let
avoid
happen.
that, yeah, I appreciate that, thank you, Seth.
Anybody else? All in favor?
Aye.
Passes unanimously.
If Mr. Chair, if I could give you
Yeah,
guys
go for
one informational update. Last time was before the board, I think it was at our last meeting in November, so it's been well over a month and lots of things happened. At that last meeting in November, I believe I had mentioned to the board that I had reached out and had a meeting set up with the State Aid Disaster Committee to have them come out and review the County Road 14 slope slide project. As you're aware, Federal Highway is going to be participating in portions of the cost of repairing County Road 14. I had requested the State Aid Disaster Committee to consider providing state aid disaster funds to cover whatever costs that Federal Highway or any other outside funding sources wouldn't cover on the County Road 14 project. The committee met. We had great discussion, and probably the middle to end of December, recommendation letter came from the State Aid Disaster Committee approving covering whatever Federal Highway and any other outside funding won't cover on County Road 14. So County Road 14 now is also covered 100% by outside funding sources that aren't our normal revenue streams that we typically work with.
That's great news, thank you.
Any other questions for Seth?
Do we anticipate our snow blower coming? Or at least our
One's here,
mounted?
right?
One of them is here.
Oh, it is here already?
Yes.
Okay, I didn't see, I didn't
The
catch that.
front loader.
Front
Yeah,
loader.
the front
mount,
loader
yes.
blower is here. Of course, the minute you buy something like that, you have beautiful weather,
Right.
which is good.
Right.
Is it ready to go?
Oh yeah, it's ready to go. We're itching to have some snow to try it out.
So is that a major deal to mount that on the bucket?
No, it's a quick attach hitch for our large loader, and within minutes they have it attached, and it's all operated by wireless Bluetooth connection, and there's a nice little module that mounts in the cab, and it's wireless right to the unit. So real slick. The truck blower, when we put the order in on that, they said it could be anywhere from 18 to 24 months to receive that unit. That's a much longer build time.
So we'll be lucky if we get it for next winter then.
I'm hoping that we have it for next winter. Earlier, well, it was probably mid-fall or so, the rep from McQueen Equipment, and that's the company that we worked through to purchase that, had said that the chassis had been built. And so it was going through final inspections and whatnot at Oshkosh, and then I believe then it moves to another plant to have the actual blower mounted and whatnot. But it's going to be a bit yet.
Good, thank you.
Other questions for Seth? Thank you.
All right, thanks.
Okay, Ryan, you're up.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Each year at our organizational meeting, the board selects committee assignments. In your packet, and actually as a handout, I have the resolution that explains the statutes behind committee assignments and per diem payments, and then our list of committees that we have. And typically, Mr. Chair, what we do is we go through each committee and just ask for conversation and dialogue of who's interested and that type of thing. So if you want to start that process.
I'd like you to lead it.
Okay. So for the AMC delegates, that's our first one. That is the county board and then 3 staff. We have a total of 8 delegates, and so we usually put names down of folks that attend the AMC conference. So myself, Jamie, and Seth for that. AMC policy committees.
Brian, could we have an alternate on there or not? Because like Abby went this year.
Yeah, you can only have 8.
Okay.
Yep, you can only have 8.
Thank you.
AMC policy committees, you see the 5 committees there, and each commissioner is assigned a committee. So is there any changes board members would like to make there?
Anybody like to get rid of anything or keep it as is?
As is? Okay.
As is, for me.
AMC district committee, that never meets, I believe. So that is assigned to the chair, vice chair, and myself. Board of Adjustments and Appeals, and we have Jason enter, and I have a typo on here, Ron Regenscheid, and he is replacing who, Mandy? Gary Miller. On the Board of Adjustments and on P&Z, right? And then you see the other appointments there. Board of Appeal and Equalization, that's of course the county board and Jackie. Brown Nicollet County is the county board. Budget Committee, we've had a practice of commissioners serving 2 consecutive years on a rotating schedule. So up for 2020 would be Commissioner Lipke and Commissioner Marl, along with myself and Heather.
Okay.
Building Committee, this group hasn't met much lately. If we do get into a process of selecting a consultant and or architect for a public works facility, which we intend to do in 2020, this group would likely meet and be part of that process. So right now we have Commissioner Kolars and Morrow on there. Is there any interest in changes or okay with that?
You okay with that, Terry?
I'm always happy to serve with Commissioner Kolars.
And thank you, sir. Feeling is mutual.
Canvas board, I have Commissioner Morrow and Kolars on there. We put the commissioners that aren't up for election on that. County board meetings, I have that on there just for per diem purposes. County board trainings and education, those are all per diem eligible assignments. County board workshops, criminal justice committee, we have that still on here with the list of individuals on that. And Michelle and Terry, you're still interested in co-chairing those?
Yes.
Sure.
Yep. Drainage authority step by statute. Joint drainage boards, we have Commissioner Drannell and Lipke, and, oh wait, I'm sorry, that's the wrong one. Drainage authority committee, I guess that's a committee we put together for special ditch discussions that need to occur. So that's Commissioner Drannell, Lipke with staff. So are you fine with that as is?
That's the one that started with the buffers?
Yeah, I believe so. Right. Drug court, Commissioner Morrow, good with that. EMS Joint Powers Board, Commissioner Kemp and Kolars as an alternate. Danny, you're okay with staying on
Yes,
that?
that's fine.
Emergency Preparedness Group, Marie, I'm not sure if they meet anymore, actually.
Sure, if we need them.
Yeah.
We better stay on it then.
I think they, do they even meet, Jamie?
No, after Karen left,
Does it exist, the committee, or?
Jody Fishnick would be the one who would run it,
Okay.
but
We'll keep it on there. I suppose they would meet in an emergency, maybe.
in an emergency.
Right.
Trump will probably go send one.
Okay. Envision 2020, that's a community planning effort, I guess I'll call it. Oh, it is. Did I say 2020? Yeah. That was the last Envision. It was 2020. Now it's switched to 2040. So I'm not sure where that's headed, but
I think, Mr. Chair, if you'll
Yes.
allow, I think that with my position on the Greater Mankato growth, I'll learn more about that, and I would like to at least keep that active because it gives us an opportunity to be at the table, Ryan.
right. I would agree with that. Extension committee, we have the board chair, and then Commissioner Lipke, and Jackie is on by statute.
Ryan, I'm now the board chair, so I be both people.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Jackie, do you know, is that by statute that the board chair is on?
Is it, what was it, the extension?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's by statute, it's just been typically the board chair.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm fine with it.
Yeah, I don't think that's by statute.
By statute, I think it's just the county auditor.
We did have some discussion, Mr. Chair, at the
Yes.
AMC Extension and
Oh.
Committee in St. Cloud here in December, where there was some controversy as to whether the auditor was part of the extension. And so many counties have moved away from that, and of course that would fall into Jackie's area. I don't remember any discussion about chairs, but it's been our practice here in Nicollet County to have the chair there.
And one other person.
And one
And
last
other.
year it was myself and John, so
Danny, would you
I
want to do it again?
can serve unless we would rather do chair, vice chair, and then that rotates kind of automatically then.
It would be good hours for Terry.
Well, it's an after hours thing,
Yeah,
so,
yeah,
and
yeah,
it's in
sure, I'm
Nicollet,
happy
so
to
if
do
you
it.
would be willing to
Yeah,
do
I'm
that,
happy to
that
do
might
it.
work better.
Terry?
Great.
And be
Chair, vice
predictable,
chair.
so we could just amend that to say chair, vice chair,
Yeah.
and call it good.
Okay.
Excuse me.
The HIPAA committee, which rarely meets, and that's actually all staff. Highway 14 partnership, we have Kolars and Lipke on that, with Commissioner Kemp as an alternate.
I would like to stay on.
Okay.
Jack?
Hmm?
Highway 14 task force committee, Seth, will there be anything with that, or?
Not at this time.
Okay, should we just keep it on though in case something?
In case, yeah.
Yeah, so that's Marie, are you okay with that?
Same, yeah, most of the work is done, it's just to find the cash.
Right now, yep.
And as we learned in November, we didn't get the Tiger grant,
Right.
or whatever they're calling it.
Something like that.
Bill Grant.
Build grant.
Build, yeah.
169 Coalition, Commissioner Kemp and Marie.
And we haven't been highly active in it because everything's been to the north, and so I'm happy to continue to serve if that's acceptable when we have issues. I think that will maybe heat up in the next 2 years or so, but we'll see.
Historic Preservation Committee, those are all citizen appointments. They've been on for several years, those folks. MTRAC, Commissioner Kolars has been on that.
Yes.
Continue with that.
Yes.
Or Denny, alternate.
Yes,
All right.
it's fine.
Insurance Committee, we meet a couple times a year at most. Commissioner Kemp and Morrow, interested in that?
I'm still interested, yes.
Intergovernmental Youth Asset Collaborative.
They've had one, they didn't tell me about it, yes.
I'm trying to remember what that even
I
is.
think that, was that not originally what came out of
It's,
District 77's program? We just had another letter on a different topic from them.
yeah,
on
Commissioner Campbell from Blue Earth County, when he was serving, was pretty active and kept that group going. And
Right.
since he retired, I'm not sure that they've met.
I agree. I'm happy to serve when called.
Okay.
And if we want to leave it open, at least until we have a greater understanding of that.
Okay. Internal Ditch and Water Buffer Committee. I'm trying to remember what that even
This could
is.
really get swapped into that.
Into the other
ditch.
group.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
This could disappear.
Yeah, we could just keep that with the
Who'd have thought we'd never talk about buffers?
Right.
Yeah.
We get seats on the joint airport zoning board for Le Sueur's municipal airport, so John and Mandy serve on that. Legislative committee, that's all commissioners. Local mental health advisory council.
Back to Le Sueur, is that because I'm chair then, or?
You're not on it, John Hamm.
Oh, good.
Yeah, sorry, John Hamill.
Different John.
I was gonna say Marie should be on it because it's her area. Okay.
Local mental health advisory council, and I think we determined that was actually you, Denny?
Yeah,
choice?
that I've been serving, and I'm
Okay.
happy to continue to do that. And
Local water management task force, I confirmed with Amy that those names are accurate. We have ex officio commissioner members with Lipke and Drannel.
would you give it a report?
Sounds good to
Because I've
me.
been doing
Fine.
it. Is that all right? Okay.
I mean, I found as well, but yeah, you should.
Huh?
Yes.
Let's see, Lower Minnesota River West Committee, one watershed, one plan. That was the item that we pulled from the agenda today. Marie and John.
Mhm.
Mankato Area Planning Organization. Seth and Mandy are on the technical committee, and Jack has served several years on the policy committee.
Yes,
Are you interested?
happy to continue.
Mankato Rehabilitation Center, Denny, are you still interested in that?
Yes, please.
MCIT Insurance. Heather handles all of our insurance here for the county, so I have her listed as a delegate with Commissioner Morrow and myself as alternates. Minnesota Valley Action Council, Commissioner Kolars. Transportation Alliance, it looks like it's all commissioners and Seth. NACO is all commissioners. Nicollet County Law Library, Marie, are you interested in that again?
8 o'clock, Monday morning.
Perfect, thank you. Nicollet County St. Peter Liaison. We've had Commissioner Drano Marl as the representatives. Want to continue with that?
How often does that committee meet?
A lot lately.
Well,
Every 6 weeks?
well, not that much.
We
but
try to not meet.
Not right.
Every 2 months?
Every couple months.
That's in stark difference to the next one we're gonna consider.
Right. I'm not sure much more gets accomplished, but yeah, North Mankato, we've been only meeting, well, not even when issues come up, it seems like. But
Did we meet in 2019?
no,
Not to my recollection.
no.
But yet we read the paper today, interesting.
Well, information flows slowly. Apparently, we're on the wrong end of the river.
Let's see. So North Mankato liaison, Commissioners Kemp and Kolars, continue with that.
Sure.
Tri-City Liaison Committee, this is our 3 small cities. We really haven't met unless there's been an issue. In years past, I know we would meet and call a meeting more or less just to chat and catch up, but it was always difficult for those smaller cities, council members to get away because many of them work during the day and that type of thing. So I think the best thing for this committee is we just meet as needed. Like in Nicollet, when there was the interchange project, we met with Nicollet quite a bit then. And then maybe the most effective thing here would be if we want to reach out to our small cities is have the commissioner who covers that area attend one council meeting a year or something like that. That might be the best way to communicate with the cities, but I think we should keep it on here just as needed.
On that issue, is the Tri-City represented by one administrator or is there more than one person?
Yeah, they don't have that anymore. It's
They don't.
each has their own clerk.
Okay.
Yeah.
You sure?
Mhm.
Each have their own.
Yeah, they don't do that
Okay.
anymore. Nate Henry's Noxious Weed Appeals Committee. Commissioners Lipke, and then we have 2 citizens and 1 alternate citizen member.
The
Park.
2 citizens willing to serve.
Yeah, they're both still willing to serve.
We've never actually had a meeting in 3 years. We scheduled it, but it got canceled.
Park Board, this group has not been active. Someday when we have a park ordinance in place and if we want to pursue more down that road, this group could be more active. But right now we have Commissioners Kemp and Lipke and then 2 vacant positions. So I'm not sure we'll meet at all in 2020 or not, but it does exist.
Well,
So-
we're gonna have some discussions about 7 Mile, about the lower part of it.
That could be a role for the park committee, for
Right.
sure, so.
Well, we'll keep it in place. I'd continue to serve if that's acceptable.
Personnel committee, we have Commissioners Drano and Kolars, with Commissioner Lipke as an alternate. Okay.
It's fine with me.
Planning and zoning advisory committee, Ron Regenscheid, like I mentioned before, is new. And then we do have 1 vacant, township position currently still out there. Marie, you're interested again? Terry is alternate. Yep. Recycling committee, I'd like to remove the last 4 names on that list there. Those are citizens that have applied for the recycling committee that we're planning to start here in 2020. I'd like to have some conversation with Mandy just on the makeup of that, and that might be a discussion we have at a board workshop as well. Not that these individuals won't serve or we won't choose them, but I just want to bring that back for future discussion. As far as commissioners on there though, we have Commissioner Morrow as the member and Commissioner Drano as the alternate. Is that okay? Okay. Region 9, Marie. Rita, or Greater Mankato Growth, Commissioner Kolars. Want to continue with that?
Thank you, yes.
Rural Minnesota Energy Board.
That's me.
John, you still interested?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a good group.
Rush River, they still meet, don't they?
It's been a while.
Is it?
Funding is dried up.
Do they have a staff person?
Nope,
That's what I thought. Okay.
They thought they might have 1 more meeting though, didn't they?
just to wrap up.
Yeah.
We'll just keep
Mhm.
Marie and John on there. Safety committee, that's all staff members. St. Peter Family Services Collaborative Joint Powers Board, Commissioner Kemp,
That's fine.
do they meet or?
Yeah, it's quarterly. It's basically verifying funding.
Okay.
It's pretty easy. So I will happily serve there.
St. Peter Regional Treatment Center Liaison Committee, Commissioner Morrow, did they meet in 2019 or? Did they? Okay. Ship Committee, Denny and
Yep.
John
That's fine.
as an alternate.
Oh,
Soil and Water, we have Commissioner.
I would like to
Lipke.
stay.
Stay on as that. That's actually a liaison membership.
right.
HRA Board, one is David Anderson's been on for years as a citizen
And we
representative.
reappointed him just recently.
Right.
So, yes.
Yep.
I will happily stay.
Okay. South Central Minnesota Regional Emergency Communications Board, that's the sheriff's radios, right?
Yes,
Basically.
that's the biggest chunk of it. I'm also now serving on the state committee as part of that also.
Okay.
So on the finance committee of that, so.
Question, that includes the fire departments too then, or?
Well, what you know of as armor is the basic core of the operation, yes. So the statewide network of radio systems, yes.
South Central Transit Board, this is our bus service that we have operate through Vine. Commissioner Drano and Lipke as an alternate. Stay with that.
It's fine with me.
Workforce Council, Commissioner Kemp and Kolars as alternate.
It's fine.
Homeland Security and Emergency Management Joint Powers Agreement, that's goes to the board chair. I think they only meet when there's a change in the Joint Powers Agreement. Justin Block would reach out to you.
Okay.
Southern Minnesota Tourism Association, we have Jessica Becker with the Historical Society, fills that role for us. Substance Abuse Coalition, Commissioner Morrow and Kemp as an alternate. Traverse de Sioux Library, Commissioner Kolars and Kemp as an alternate. Tri-County Solid Waste, Commissioner Drannell and Morrow, stay with that. And then on the transit side, we have another advisory committee. This actually is the advisory committee for Vine, and that's Marie and Don as well. That should be all of the committees. If we forgot anything, just let us know.
I just have one. Commissioner Morrow and I, we negotiated, and so I would like to remain on the drug court. So that would be a change. That's what's listed, second
okay.
page, or third page of your document. I'm
Gotcha.
sorry.
So Terry off and then Denny
Yeah,
on drug
and then I'll
court.
take care of it.
Yes.
Mr. Chair, I think the Substance Abuse Coalition is listed on the list. The actual name is the Adolescent Chemical Wellness Advocates, so the committee name should probably be
Okay.
reflective of the actual name.
I'll get that name to
Okay.
you later.
Okay. So, we need a resolution to confirm this all?
There's a resolution that was attached that would confirm all this.
Mr. Chair, I'll move the resolution.
In a second?
Second.
Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
It's a resolution, you need to call it.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
So,
Kemp,
Yes.
Colars,
Yes.
Morrow,
Yes.
Journal. Yes. Vicky.
yes. Okay. So, do we take a break according to this?
Yeah, Mr. Chair, the Drainage Authority doesn't start till 9:40. We have a break scheduled at 9:30. You could start the break now, or you could jump ahead and do the chair and committee reports.
You can probably finish it.
Yes, let's do that.
Finish that up and then go to break?
Yes.
There were no informational items.
Okay. Well, Chair's report isn't very big. Went to Brown Nicollet, and I went to a retirement party for Sue Ware and presented her with her plaque. Danny?
We have not met, or since the last time we met, I did a retirement as my chair seat and also community health, and that's the extent of it.
Terry?
Just trying to catch up here. I apologize. I'm just trying to remember our last meeting day. I think it was Tri-County Waste. And did we have a Brown Nicollet
Yes,
County?
we
did.
Yeah,
That
that
was
meeting
it.
as well.
Marie?
I too have Tri-County Solid Waste, and the new dumpsters are out and not
Yeah.
necessarily getting fans. And the Brown Nicollet Community Health Board meeting in New Ulm.
Jack?
CHS, and then I proudly watched the Gophers beat that team in the Outback Bowl. I didn't get a chance to go, but
Roll the boat.
maybe next year when we're in Pasadena, we can all go. And Skyuma, forget the boat.
Okay. Ryan, do you have any additional?
No, other than a couple of you mentioned retirements. It could be a busy year for the chair this year, handing out plaques. We've got several retirements coming up. We've had a couple recently. Seth had one just announced, and we've got, Jamie says, a record year for retirements this year.
Wow.
Potentially, so be a lot of new faces coming, and fortunate staff get to enjoy retirement starting in 2020. So just thought I would mention that. I know that you've had a couple here lately.
Got a motion on approval of commissioner meetings and conferences?
Don't think we have anything scheduled right now, do we?
Yeah, the
Other
only,
than,
AMC.
So we're good till the
AMC.
next meeting?
yeah, we don't really need to take
Okay.
action on that, but please let Abby know by the next meeting if you're gonna
Okay.
attend or not.
And per diems and expenses?
move it.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, passes. Now, we don't really adjourn, right?
Yeah, we have finished the board.
Okay, so we'll adjourn. Or do we need a motion for that, right?
I'll move adjournment of the board meeting.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And we will
Nicely
meet
done.
again at 9:40?
9:30.
Yeah. Okay, call the Drainage Authority to meeting to order. There's a consent agenda.
Move the consent agenda.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Now we go to public appearances. Appears there are none right now, but we may reopen that area. Are we going to close the room for the
Yeah.
attorney-client?
You need to read that statement.
Okay. This portion of the meeting is closed for attorney-client privilege pursuant to Minnesota statutes, Chapter 13D, to discuss potential litigation regarding the improvement project on Nicollet County Ditch 62A.
Just close the room.
We're going to close the room. We reconvene the Drainage Authority meeting.
All right, one of the things that is going to happen in the lawsuit with Hutton and Granite Re is that the county will be making claims against both those entities, against the bond and the counterclaims or cross claims technically against Hutton for breach of contract. To determine those amounts, we will have to get bids from contractors as to what the final repairs to bring it up to spec are, and to better determine what the bidding process should look like, it would be beneficial if we had accurate televising of the system. And to do that, I think the board would have to authorize the expenditure of those funds.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
I move that we authorize county staff to expend the funds necessary to televise the ditch system.
I'll second that motion.
Any other discussion?
The complete.
Yes, I mean,
Yes.
the 62A system.
And I'm assuming you mean as soon as possible.
No, I don't mean that.
You don't? Okay.
I just authorize them to.
Okay.
To do it.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Passes.
Thank you.
Roger.
Thank you, Roger.
So, now can we go on to 79?
I think so.
Yes.
Morning again.
Hi.
Good morning. Again.
As you recall, on December 17th, we had a public hearing on the final engineer's report for County Ditch 79. At that meeting, there was some lengthy discussion, and as a result, the board did move to go ahead with the project with option 2 designated in the engineer's final report. At that time, we also said that we would prepare the findings in the order and present it at the next board meeting, which is today. So, under separate cover, the findings, in fact, and the order has been presented to you, as well as the determination of benefits prepared by the viewers for the project as Exhibit A. The finding and facts has been submitted to you. They're very lengthy. What I would like to do is that the findings do cover the history of the project, and you can read those on your own, but I would like to read the order into the minutes as well, if that's acceptable to the board.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
I'm just looking at Exhibit A, and if the board will recall, when Mr. Rehnquist was here, I asked the question, the date on this is September 12th of 2014. I believe he did indicate that it was 2019 and not 2014. Did he provide a corrected version of that form?
I believe he did.
So I would either ask that we amend this to note that it's the 2019, so that we have the year, I'm making it 2019, so it doesn't say
Right.
2014.
So we need a motion on that?
No, I think we'll just substitute it
Okay.
in for the Exhibit A.
Okay.
It's accurate except for that date.
For the date.
Okay.
All right, I'll go ahead with the order. There are nine orders here. The number 1, Nicollet County Drainage Authority for County Ditch 90 hereby establishes and orders said improvement to County Ditch 79 according to the project as described in the final engineer's report, further identified as option 2 in the final engineer's report. Number 2, the amount The amount assigned by the engineer as separable maintenance shall be charged to County Ditch Number 90 and deducted from the cost of the improvement to County Ditch Number 90.
79.
Oh, 79. I'm sorry. Did I say 90? I
Yeah.
did.
Yeah,
I've
twice.
had 90 on my brain today.
We were talking about it.
Yes, sorry. The board directs the engineer to prepare the detailed plans and specifications and other necessary documents to allow for bidding on the project. Number 4. The board directs the public service manager to take all necessary actions for the construction of the improvement project to County Ditch Number 79 and authorizes the public services manager to proceed as necessary, reserving to itself only those matters that the board, by vote, must authorize. Number 5. Upon completion of the project, the drainage system record shall be updated with the as-built alignment and conditions for the improvement to County Ditch Number 79. Number 6. The viewer's determination of improvement to County Ditch Number 79 benefits and damages contained in the viewer's report dated September 12, 2019, and the benefits and damages statements here are hereby confirmed and adopted by the Drainage Authority. Said report is attached as Exhibit A and is hereby incorporated by reference. Number 7. The viewers, engineers, and attorneys are allowed payment for their accounts of work. Number 8. The public service manager shall ensure that the benefits roll is updated to reflect the benefits confirmed in this order. Number 9. The percentage of the cost of the drainage project to be paid by each affected landowner shall be in direct proportion to the benefits and damages as determined in the viewer's report.
Thank you.
That is it. So I
Mr.
would-
Chair, I'll move approval of the findings in order.
Second.
More discussion? Call the question?
Marl?
Yes.
Kemp?
Yes.
Journal?
Yes.
Kohler?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Are there any other items we want to talk about in the Drainage Authority?
Move to adjourn. No, I'm sorry.
I just wanted to remind the board that the oral argument on 86A is scheduled for this Thursday in St. Paul. So we will have the oral argument, and I believe the court has 90 days to make its decision.
Wonderful.
Move adjournment.
Second.
All in favor, any discussion? Everybody in favor of adjourning, say aye.
Aye.
It passes.